Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live from our comfy couch here on the outskirts of the internet. This is the Gaming Saloon Reviews for June 7th, 2020, with your host, Beatbreaker2448, and Ramped Epsilon.
Hi.
We get to talk to Ichio again after a not planned week break.
Yeah.
Where I didn't do the rest of the notes that I started the Sunday when you told me we weren't doing it that week, and I was like, okay, cool, I'll do these tomorrow, and then didn't do them.
Tomorrow never came.
More or less. So I had to do them today. And then got reminded, wow, they just love reusing footage of Hongo and having someone else voice him in these last two episodes.
Yeah, no. It's like, oh.
Don't mind us as we act around the fact that he is in the hospital with a broken leg. So yeah, we're covering 9 through 12 of the original series this week. Just as a reminder, if you want to watch the series with us on a weekly basis, the original series, along with Kuga, that I am almost done with my rewatch of. I'm on 39 at the moment, or I just got done watching 39 today. They are on a variety of streaming platforms, thanks to Shout Factory doing official subs of these, and hopefully they do more in the future. Exclamation point writer in chat, regardless of capitalization, will get you the link to Shout Factory's page on it. Anyway, how'd you feel going into these four?
Kind of just indifferent, actually. It's one of those, I've kind of been trying to go into it as neutral as possible, because I have a feeling there's going to be some stuff, especially the later two episodes of this, that I was like, wow.
Don't worry, we get Nigo next week in our batch of episodes, and his introduction and the fact that he has to handle the show for like excuse me, for like 20 plus episodes until Han goes back, and then we have a 2-writer show.
I think with me, a lot of it is simply the case of, it feels like they've shoehorned the secondary characters into the main plot way too hard for a little bit right now, but it's for good reason.
You know what's hilarious is one of them won't be relevant past the series, and the other one won't be relevant after Hongo properly leaves the series, which I found extremely weird.
That is odd.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, shall we hop into them?
I guess so.
Alright, we kick off with episode 9, The Terrifying Cobra Man. We start off in Shocker, where a new Cobra Man is receiving some fancy new fangs in his mouth that allows his snake arm to breathe fire that will melt anything. I think you put those fangs in the wrong place, but okay, sure. They end up testing it out on one of the goons, who gets the suds, because they cover him in suds to represent him melting. I love 1970s special effects. They're so wonderfully just bonkers.
Yeah, and they really love the suds.
Yep. Anyway, he is now being sent out to steal Scrooge McDuck's gold, apparently. It's from a Japanese repository of gold, but I'm gonna say it's Scrooge McDuck's gold because you can't stop me.
To be
So
fair,
we got two.
I kind of like that concept of it better.
Yep. So at said repository, we see a shift change happen as a guard goes off duty and goes home to his son and their dog, whose name is Dummy. And that might be the dumbest name I've ever heard for a dog in a show.
Very true. And I find it very funny.
Yep. Anyway, after he heads home, Cobra attacks, killing the other guard who clocked in and breaking in. But never fear, for Dummy shows up because he heard something and stops Cobra Man and makes him drop his fang as well. And he leaves because the dog scared him off, I guess. Because Big Shocker Monster can't defeat Dog, who just wants to lay down and just be Dog.
Dog too strong.
So we see newspaper roll of detailing this break-in, and then the next day, apparently, we find out that the dog is dead. And he's buried on some hill somewhere. How the fuck did the dog die?
The only thing I can think to this is because of the simple fact of the fangs.
I guess?
Otherwise, I have no idea.
I don't know. It's so weird to be like, dog saves day. Last shot of dog is just him laying down in the repository going, I am Dog. I did good. I'm just going to sit and lay down here now. And then we got to the newspaper roll detailing this break-in, and then the next scene is the kid going to the dog's grave, leaving flowers because Dog is dead. What the fuck?
Yeah, Ichigo kind of has the bad thing of not giving us information.
Sometimes, yeah. Yeah, we just get hipped by stuff. Anyway, Hongo's off to investigate the next day because his chakra senses are tingling. But before he leaves, he ends up getting a necklace from Ruriko that actually has a tracker in it in case he ends up in trouble. Although he doesn't know this, apparently. Anyway, we catch up with the dad. He returns home to find the Cobra waiting for him and wanting his fangs, which the guy has no idea about. But he does give up the location of Dummy.
I still can't get over the dog's name.
Neither can I. So the kid's visiting the grave, putting some flowers, and that's when Shocker arrives. The kids get taken, but Hongo arrives in time to pursue them to some abandoned building somewhere. And he ends up fighting Cobra, but he uses Dig to get away. But unfortunately, Hongo knows Supersonic and uses it to get his location and track him. Because that's just the thing Hongo can do for this episode. I love how weird this show is. Just like, yeah, Hongo can just emit a sonic wave to just track somebody underground because he can. What? Why did you put that in there, Shocker? What purpose did you think Hongo would need for this?
I mean, there's no telling.
Probably not. Anyway, he tracks them to their base as our good Cobra friend threatens to drop the kid into a vat of acid unless he gives up the location of the fangs, which the kid doesn't know. But Hongo manages to arrive in time to distract everybody so we can have a fight scene. So Hongo ends up fighting a bunch of goons and the usual fight stuff. And makes it to Cobra, who's hanging out in the room where the kid's hanging above the pool of acid. And he more or less threatens to drop the kid in unless Hongo surrenders, which he does. So now they put Hongo back on the table to brainwash him again. And he ends up taunting them when he tries to ask the kid again where the fangs are by saying, "No, I found the fangs and I threw them in the ocean like I threw your Nazi gold that you were after." Hongo, maybe don't taunt them while you're strapped to a table. Anywho, Tachibana ends up arriving because he uses the tracker to find Hongo and manages to save the day because he fights off Shocker Goons and breaks the computer, which releases Hongo. So Hongo can go and fight Cobra. And he quickly takes a rider kick for his troubles. So, day is saved. Hongo gives Dummy some more flowers. Finds the fangs just laying on the grave, which... Why didn't you just dig up the grave? Why did you... What? Shocker, I think you forgot a part of your plan here.
And by part, you mean most.
Yes. So he ends up taking those and ducks out when Ruriko and Tachibana show up with the kid to drop off some more flowers. And we kind of end the episode there. Which takes us to episode 10 with the revived Cobra Man, because this guy was successful enough at doing absolutely nothing right and being beaten by a dog in order to be revived. Okay, sure, Shocker. I think maybe someone else should have been.
Yeah.
We start the episode with a group of suspicious individuals buying up cats and dogs off people for some science thing. But this is, of course, a Shocker plot, because they're taking the pets in order to drain their blood to revive the Cobra Man, who apparently now runs off the blood of your pets. Why? Why? Could you just not use other animals?
Animals, so animal blood must make it right.
There has to be a better solution than going, "Hey, we're buying cats and dogs off people."
Yeah.
And also having to kidnap the people in order to turn them into goons. This feels like the Shocker that I think some people have watched and went, "This is the original series, right? These dumb things that tend to happen." Anyway, a female Shocker scientist is running this. I don't think... Did she ever get named? I don't think she gets named.
I think she does, but it's like once by the Shocker voice, and then that's it.
By the disembodied voice of the great leader of Shocker. So,
yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so,
all of this...
Yeah, take that as you will.
All of this is to revive Cobra and improve him so he can become Cobra. With a K now.
The ultimate Cobra.
Yep. Anyway, a kid approaches Hongo and the gang on some street somewhere because he's looking for his dog. And this causes Hongo's Shocker senses to tingle because they must be a plot, especially if this random facility is buying up pets for no reason. I must investigate. This is when a local cop drops in as well to inform them of additional disappearances of other people besides pets. So, if it's not obvious already, here you go. And we follow the kid as he goes off to investigate. At which point, the cop, I guess, follows him or just goes to the same place and ends up telling the kid to go home. He'll investigate. And he ends up getting let into the place, even though he makes it plainly clear, "I'm just some cop. I want to take a look around." So he gets let in, but is swiftly knocked out for his troubles because can't have a cop and snitch on us. And at this point, we see Cobra revive, and his new and improved skills require testing. which is something that's going to be a trend for the next, 2 episodes, is us following Shocker and them testing out their new monsters. Because we got time to kill.
Yep.
We find out they're after more of Scrooge's gold, and they head out with the kid actually spotting them heading out, and he goes to inform Hongo and the gang of what's happening. But we follow Shocker to a quarry where they've got some other person in the cop tied up to poles, and Cobra kills one of the guys by burning him alive, I guess. And he starts to burn the cop when Hongo arrives and interrupts this and prevents the cop from being fully burned alive, just partially burned. That still would suck. But Hongo fights it out until the scientist ends up getting caught in the crossfire and gets partially burned. So Shocker just then leaves, and then Tachibana shows up to take the cop to the hospital. And then meanwhile, back to Shocker Base, where the scientist lets out her anger on Cobra for burning her. And then Shocker pipes in to be like, well, you revived our monster. Now die, because you're not useful to us anymore. So she then proceeds to be burned alive by Cobra. Why? What? Why? Why are you killing the scientist that revived your monster? Why don't you keep her employed? Why don't you have her just pumping out revived monsters every which way?
Because that would be too easy.
Especially when the next episode is about a monster that uses data from other monsters. Fine, whatever. So yeah, we come back to Hongo, who figures out that this gold transfer that's happening at the moment is the target for Cobra, and goes to warn the cops. But the cop who got burned is there and doesn't buy it because, Shocker, what are you talking about? You're talking crazy. There's not some weird cult somewhere that is causing chaos and stuff. Nah. But unfortunately, Shocker attacks and they sink the boat that's at the docks before the gold gets put on it. I'm confused by this because I don't know where the boat is when it's sunk, or if they did they sink the boat?
I believe so.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know it gets mentioned about it.
Yeah. But they sink the boat and steal the gold and run off with it. The cop was not on the boat when it sinks. But Hongo manages to be there in time and interrupts them stealing the gold and fights them once more. And Cobra gets a rider arm drag into the ocean to go visit Davy Jones because I'm sure that's where the fangs are now. Since Hongo likes disposing of things into the ocean.
Yeah.
We end the episode at Amigo, where the kid gets his dog back, or a new dog. I'm not sure on that one.
To be fair, I'm not either. He just has a dog.
Yep, the cop gets a commendation for rescuing the gold, even though he was knocked out the whole time. And Hongo just jokes around about, hey, why don't you give me the commendation? He's like, no. As he plays with a toy duck for some reason. I don't know why Hongo's playing with a toy duck at the bar at the end of this episode. So just a weird thing to see him just mucking about with this bright ass pink toy duck. But yeah, that's where we end our episode. So how'd you feel about our last 2 episodes with Hongo properly for a while?
I feel like this might be where this might be the whole part where everyone is misinformed about Shocker really bad.
It's like you watch the filler episodes and you think that's all the series is based on, but it's not. Because these kind of feel like just one-off. Like, here's some filler episodes, because we're not really moving the plot along as much as one would expect the plot to be moved along in the series like this. But yeah, anything else before we hit the second half with a lot of reused footage?
No, I can't think of nothing.
All right, we kick off with episode 11, Blood-Sucking Monster, Kiva Condor. We have not Hongo giving us a voiceover of reused footage of Hongo, because bear in mind, Hongo's actor has suffered a broken leg at this point in filming, so we just have someone else voicing his lines, and we're just reusing footage from like the one time he was racing. Some special shocker goons that are advanced shocker goons that actually get speaking lines are accompanied by a new and improved monster that has data from previous monsters, and they're going to go fight Hongo. Also, this new monster is powered by the blood of young women because, I don't know, shocker scientists are on a blood kick this week. They're being weird. But we cut to a church where a totally not shocker nun rings a bell because a couple's approaching and they want to get married just randomly. And this causes the other shocker people in the church to go get ready to ambush them and murder them. So we go through the ceremony, and then they are attacked, and a kid sees this, and he's going to be informing the team later of it. But now that the monster now has blood in his tank, he rises, and we go see him go for a quick test run, testing his jumping capabilities, his flying capabilities, and his ability to turn invisible, I assume. Does he turn invincible? Or does he teleport?
I think it's more he's teleporting.
Okay. One of those two abilities. Meanwhile, the team, minus Hongo, because Hongo's not here, he's busy at the university, get a letter from an old friend of his, Kazuya Taki, who, by the way, is an FBI agent and will actually be kind of a prominent side character for the rest of the series, but only this series, unless you look at the manga, where he kind of becomes the Showa version of Skullman. I think he's technically called Tatsuya Rider, but he's more or less Skullman, and he helps fight monsters with the other riders. But he only shows up in this series for some reason. But he's getting married before a big championship race. And we cut to Hongo real quick as he's researching, and someone comes in to not talk to him about the marriage going on. He ends up missing the wedding, but it's also at the same church from earlier. So Shocker plans to attack them, but not in the church, when they're out on the road and they're in their bike and sidecar on some really bumpy ass dirt road that apparently leads to this church. Why the fuck is this dirt ass road leading to this church? And why are you driving down it? Looks like a terrible ride for a bike.
To be fair, that is all very good questions.
Yeah. So after they get married, Kazuya and his wife leave, but they are attacked on the road. But Hongo arrives in time via stock footage and fight scenes where I swear his costume is different, like his helmet's different. And it might be because they have someone else in the suit.
Probably.
But he tries fighting the monster, along with Kazuya fighting off Shocker Goons as well, and he manages to get away with his wife. Unfortunately for Hongo, for his efforts, he is dunked into the side of a hill, Looney Tunes style, with like half his body in, and just the other half just stuck outside. And then Shocker just leaves, even though Hongo's stuck in a hill, and you could just capture him and then maybe brainwash him again. No, okay, fine. I guess it's our way of writing out Hongo for the rest of the episode until we need him for a fight scene later. We cut to hospital where Kazuya's wife is admitted because she got injured in the fight. And Kazuya wants a bit of revenge for this. So after Tachibana contacts Hongo, he goes to investigate the church. And so does Kazuya, and they end up running into each other and going, oh, this church is suspicious. We probably need to find out what the fuck's going on. So the two of them and the girls and the one guy who tends the bar that I don't think has been named end up planning to do a fake wedding at the church in order to drag out Shocker. And they do, with Tachibana and Ruko acting as a couple. And they manage to pull it off and pull the monster away into some field somewhere, just some open field where Hongo is there. And he ends up fighting it, but he's not strong enough to take it. But what he does have is his motorcycle, and he just proceeds to run it over with his motorcycle, doing a rider break, and that manages to kill it after it turns it into a paper, I think, because it turns into some 2D paper model, and then it goes boom.
Yeah. Turns into like a cardboard cutout, and then it goes boom.
Yep. But yeah, they is saved, and then Ruriko proceeds to drive off in the car, leaving Tachibana behind, I guess, to walk home. And that's the episode. Which takes us to episode 12, Murder! Yamogilis? I'm gonna go with Yamogilis.
Except for the subtitles also had a different name.
Okay, here's the thing. I'm pulling the list of the episode names off the Writer Wiki.
Which is also the same that they use on the site.
Sometimes.
No,
but it's also
that one actually is.
Yeah.
But the title that they use in the episode itself is different.
It wouldn't be the first episode that's done that so far.
No.
It's weird why the page listing and the episode subtitles are not the same on Shout Factory. I don't get it. Anyway, a fancy new laser has proved to be too good at killing this one rabbit, I think. And apparently it must be destroyed because we can't let this fall into evil hands. So the main scientist wants to destroy the prototype, but doesn't want to get rid of it completely. So his assistant suggests, why don't you just put it on microfilm and just hide it away? And he does, but as it turns out, the assistant is a part of Shocker, and then gets turned into the monster for this week. And he's sent off to go claim the microfilm. Why didn't you wait until he had the microfilm and then get it, and then not have to have a monster get it? Shocker, I think you jumped the gun here.
Yeah, true.
Anyway, after the monster is made, we go see him test out his climbing ability and his ability to turn invisible. Because it also has a camo ability. And he ends up attacking some people that are just randomly training in this quarry to prove he can fight. Because also we need a fight scene that doesn't involve Hongo just yet. Meanwhile, with reused footage, Ruriko is driving around town on a motorcycle with Hongo. But they quickly find a car being accosted by Shocker, and Hongo intervenes, running Shocker off, with Ruriko sticking around with the scientists to investigate why is Shocker going after them. And we see that the monster has infiltrated their house and is... I initially put his wife, because I was like, oh yeah, it's his wife, and then I saw later she calls him brother, and I'm like, shit, no, that's your sister. Fuck, I have to change this. I gotta quickly Control F all of that out. But not too far, because we were dealing with wives the last episode. Anyway, the monster disappears. Ruriko tries to talk to the guy about, like, why is Shocker after you, and the guy plays dumb about the laser and stuff. It's like, I don't know why. And this is when Hongo calls the house and talks to Ruriko and tells her, don't investigate this. Just let me handle this. And Ruriko's like, no, this is my episode, damn it. You're in the hospital with a broken leg. I get to run this episode. And then we see the guy hides the microfilm in a necklace that he gives to his sister, who we see immediately get kidnapped by Shocker. So that didn't last long. And also, stock footage of Hongo is unable to catch up. So we cut to Ruriko at Amigo the next day, thinking the case over, before the guy walks in saying, by the way, my sister got kidnapped. And we now get a montage of the monster using the laser to turn people into a weird pile of not bones, of flat bones.
Of glow-in-the-dark skeleton.
More or less.
I mean, truthfully.
But after this proves successful, Shocker now wants a super laser, or supersized version of the laser that will blow up vehicles. Wait, why would it go from turning people into bones to blowing up vehicles?
Because reasons?
I'm pretty sure lasers don't work that way, but okay, Shocker, sure. At this point, the guy is called by Shocker to go to a location to make a deal. While Ruriko is distracted by Shocker. When she gets back, the guy is gone, but because the guy wrote down the location on a notepad, she just runs a pencil over it and gets the location, so she's on the trail of Shocker. And she manages to track down the scientist as he's finishing up the super laser. Unfortunately, the monster cuts her off before she can get to the base, but Hongo quickly revives to save the day and bail her out. Although she does get to fight like two goons for like 5 seconds, which that is more than I am expecting for her to do in this series at this point. I am amazed that she gets an actual partial fight scene in this series. Considering she hasn't done a whole lot since the series started. But yeah, Hongo fights the monsters and fights his way to some more goons and stuff until they get to a hill where the super laser is set up. So the monster traps Hongo in a cocoon in order to shoot the laser at him properly. But thankfully Ruriko is nearby and has the brilliant plan of kick the cocoon off a cliff so it breaks and frees Hongo. And it does, and I guess it allows the guy to be distracted, the monster to be distracted enough. So as he tries to run away, the scientist turns the laser on the monster and killing it, because this is extremely not Hongo's episode, because he doesn't get to really do anything. He doesn't even get to blow up the monster. The scientist does. So after Hongo accomplishes nothing, he rides off and the day is saved. And that's where we end the episode, on this weird end of an episode.
Yeah.
That's episode 12. So how'd you feel about these two filler episodes? Extremely filler episodes.
I feel like this is just oof, because of all the having to mad scramble.
Yeah, with Hongo gone and us on a tight filming schedule. Shit. Brumiko, I guess you're holding an episode on your own, because we got no way to ride around this.
Yeah.
Oh well. I mean, I like that Rumiko got an episode by happenstance. Unfortunately, when Hongo was going to, I think, leave to go internationally for a little bit and then come back properly, she's going to go with him but not come back. So she's not even going to be in for the rest of the series.
Hello.
Hello.
Did I miss anything?
We're about to wrap up, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, I just got the notification that y'all switched to, I literally just got the notification that y'all switched to a talk show.
That was 37 minutes ago, probably.
Yeah.
Probably 40, for some reason.
Let's see. It says on Twitter, changing game over to talk shows and podcasts, 11:46 p.m. Thanks, Twitter.
Wow. Thanks, Spot, for goofing that up.
Oh,
Mine says 38 minutes ago on my feed.
beautiful. Oh, Twitter, you terrible menace, you.
But yeah, I wish we got to do more. And weirdly enough, it's weird. I'm like, I wish you got to do more, and I wish you maybe got set up to. This is probably the Phase 2 Heisei Rider fan of me, of like, maybe she could be a rider. She kind of already has a motorcycle.
Yeah, like kind of just make her for right now.
Yeah. Otherwise, they're fine. It really feels like filler.
Yeah.
And for half of it, I'm understanding. But the other half, I'm like, this is kind of an alright two-parter. I'm not the biggest fan of it, because Cobra is not... The most I got invested in was Dummy saving the day and then dying off screen.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, oddly enough.
But anything else?
No.
Alright then, next week, we pick up where we left off with here with 13, 14, 15, and 16. We're going to get introduced to Ichimonji, Kamen Rider Nigo, for the first time. And he gets to be Rider for a good 20 plus episodes.
Wait, so what show are y'all on now? I thought didn't y'all just finish the other show?
Yes, we're on the original series. The original series for Kamen Rider.
The OG Kamen
Yes.
Rider?
Ichigo, yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Because, and I will plug this again, it is officially subbed by Shout Factory and is on a variety of streaming platforms. And if you hit !Rider in chat, you too can watch the show with us on a weekly basis. Because it will take you to the Shout Factory page. Because this is officially subbed and officially released.
And
Unlike the other
officially
shows.
official.
Yes, unlike the other shows we've been talking about, which are not officially subbed, and we can't tell you where to get
Where to
those
go
because,
get them.
yeah,
Reasons.
yes.
Because they are
So
the
is
gray
Kuga.
zone.
Yeah. So is Kuga as well. But yeah, anything else?
Nah.
Alright then, if you're live or seeing, drop a follow, really appreciate it. Chipping away that average viewer follower goal. At TG Saloon Twitter, we'll get you updates on when we go live. And exclamation point Discord on chat, or Discord in chat, we'll give you a Discord link. Drop by, say hi. I don't know if we'll do Kuga after this. I don't know what we're doing after Ichigo, so maybe.
Maybe. Like, I guess I'll put it this way. At some point, I don't know if we'll do that coming out of Ichigo, though.
Forget, which one was Ichigo?
That is the literal original series.
Yeah. That is OG.
Of Heisei, right?
Showa.
Showa.
Oh, okay.
Kuga
Okay.
is the original Heisei writer.
That's okay. Yeah. Listen, there's a handful of writers that are my favorites. The others, I'm just kind of like, they exist.
But if you got questions, drop them in the Discord chat for questions. We'll answer them here on TGS, whichever. This week, it is more custom robo, some grab bag of SNES stuff. City of Mist, hopefully, at some point, to make up for not doing it this week. And TGS are normal. So
The hope is for tomorrow night. It all depends on whether I have work.
Okay.
Tuesday.
I mean, extreme worst case scenario, that will be next Rampant Gaming.
yeah. But anyway, we'll see you next time.